Morning, Eden, Elon. Yeah, it has been a long time. I haven't practiced my English. So it has been almost more than 1 year. Yeah, last March, I suddenly accidentally came back to China. Yeah, because of the coronavirus. Yeah, at the beginning, I felt very how to say depressed. Yeah, because it is not a planned trip. Yeah, after I traveled in Malaysia for about 1 month. So and I tried to get to the airport to take the flight back to Jakarta. Yeah, but I was informed that the flight was cancelled. Yeah, and then and because of another reason is because there's a new regulation from Indonesia that the foreigners, especially from China, since you're not allowed to get aboard. Yeah, so I try to get another channel to take the sea way. Yeah, to take the boat from the how I forget the name of the city in the south of the Malaysia. They have a float to the Batam, Indonesia. Yeah, I think about 8 or 7 or 9 years ago, I used to take once this way. So I tried to go to the south of the Kota Baru. Yeah, Kota Baru. Ya, bukan Kota Baru. Singshan, Gunung Baru ya, ya, namanya apa? That's the south of the Malaysia near Singapore. Yeah, you can take the boat. So I try to take the bus. I fly to the I take the bus from the airport to the boat. Yeah, to try to get to take it out to board on the boat to get to the Batam. But the immigration officer at the port declined me. And he said it's a new regulation. You cannot take the boat either because I'm carrying the Chinese passport. So I have to come back to airport again. So where can I go? I have no other choice. I can fly to China. But luckily, yeah, after several months later, even I want to come back to China, it's impossible. But I'm still lucky. So I take a flight to Hong Kong. And stay. So I found a flight to Hong Kong and stayed about 4 or 5 days at my sister's home in Hong Kong. And after that, I came to the Shenzhen. Yeah. When I went through the customs Shenzhen, I saw many officers in white clothes to check the virus. Yeah, after about say after through the customs, I was sent by the government officials to one specialized hotels for one night. They checked if you the test if you got the virus. If negative, then you can go to your cities. Yeah. And because my hometown is in Nanjing, not in Shenzhen, so at that time the control is not so tight. Yeah, so I was free to get on the plane I choose. But the officers in Shenzhen told me and to contact the police officers in my hometown to send me to a hotel or some place is designated. Yeah, so I can stay there for 1-2 weeks. Yeah, basically I have to pay myself. Yeah. But so I contact police officers in Nanjing, and they said, well, they'll pick me up in the airport in Nanjing. So when I have arrived in Nanjing, I couldn't find them. So I changed my mind and I contact my son in Nanjing, and then he refused me because he is afraid because I'm coming from abroad. Maybe I got some trouble. So okay, But I saw I have other places to stay in China, in Ningbo, where I have got some business to do. So I changed my schedule and I fly and I take a train directly to Ningbo to stay, and to stay in an apartment. I restricted myself. Yeah, I didn't came out for 2 weeks. Yeah, just to check myself is safe or not. So after that, I got a free. Yeah, because when you in China, when you want to go everywhere, they got a WeChat. They got a code. Yeah, they got a code. If you cannot, if you the code is green, you can enter some shopping mall or somewhere else, and or the subway. If you cannot get the green, you cannot go anywhere. So everything is controlled. Okay, that's my history. I came back to China. Yeah, suddenly. Yeah, but now I feel it's very fortunate. Yeah, but not because some here is safer or not. It's because I got many more experience, more idea, and I read more than 100 books. Yeah, because I have time to stay there quietly for myself, and I got a sickness also, and I stayed in the hospital in Ningbo for about 1 week. But I refused to to take the operation because I think I can adjust myself. That's because the sickness caused by my food. Yeah, because I didn't control myself after staying for a long time in Jakarta and Thailand for a long time, for many years. So when I try again my Chinese food, I couldn't control myself. So I declined the offer by the doctors. They want me to hospitalize. I don't agree, but I changed. It made me change my decisions to stay in the north of China, because I think if I got some problems in one city, I think the one choice to correct the problem is to change the place, because I cannot change myself, so I changed the place. Yeah, that's my reason. And another reason is because of the weather, because in December it's getting very cold, and in China only the south divided by the Yangtze River. Yeah, Yangtze River. The below the south of the Yangtze River, they are not allowed to have a heating system. Yeah, public heating system. Only the north. Yeah, yeah. So because I used to study and worked and lived in Beijing for 10 years, so I know. I prefer to spend my winter in the north of China, and so I decided to drive myself to the north. I bought a very cheap car, second hand, after I stayed in Ningbo when I first arrived in Ningbo, because that's a very interesting issues, small experience. So because I got business, I went to check one of the factory who is going to deliver my products, and they refused me. This is a new factory. Yeah, after I just went back to China, and I found a new factory, because I always trying to find some better source for my products, and they give me the reason, because the virus, they cannot pick me up in the train station. If you want to come, you have to come drive yourself. But they know I'm a foreigner, almost a foreigner. I couldn't have a car there. So in order to see the new factory myself, I bought a second-hand car, because it's cost 20,000 renminbi, 20,000 renminbi, about 3,000 US dollars, something like that. Yeah, 2,000. Yeah, 3,000, something like that. But after I bought the car, the factory disappeared, because they don't want me coming. In fact, that's the Chinese way. Never tell you the truth. Yeah, that's funny things. So, okay, I drive my old car. It's a BYD, a very cheap car, Chinese-made car. Yeah, and I plan to stay in Beijing. Yeah, but when I drive about 100 kilos, yeah, from Ningbo to Beijing. But when I arrived in Tianjin, and I think it's Tianjin is a seaport city. It's a new city. I think it's much cheaper and very near to Beijing. And Beijing has got many problems. I mean, the traffic, the restricted number of the outside cars from other provinces. It's very complicated, and the living cost is much higher. Yeah, and if you pay the rent, some of the apartment is much higher. I know, so I'm hesitating. So when I arrived in Tianjin, I feel very cold because I come from the south. I didn't buy many thick clothes, you know. So I feel cold. I stopped in here, and I tried to buy some dark feather coat. Yeah, and I found this place, not the downtown Tianjin, because Tianjin, they also regulate the restricted outside number. They got a one for my plate. They have number. It's a even number or the how to say odd number. Yeah. So I start in the outside circle of the Tianjin, in Jingnan. I picked here because I checked it's a kind of a center, a little bit center. Yeah, if you go out of the town Tianjin, if you go to the Binhai in the east coast, yeah, here is a. Before I came, I checked a little bit. It's not so backwards area. I think it's okay. So I stopped here to get some food and try to buy the clothes, and I got a feeling here is a normal. I think it's cool. It's easy to stay here also. Yeah, because for more than 10 or 15 years, I never came back to the north of China. You know, because of my family, so my business always in the south. Yeah. So I feel very interesting. So I said, okay, I just stay here. I rent an apartment here, and I decided to stay here because the inside the apartment they have a heating system. It's like this, yeah. So it's very warm here. In the inside it's about 20 degrees. I think it's enough for me because I'm a single. So I stayed here. I make a decision till now. It's almost, I think, last October 15th I came here, and till now I feel very nice. Yeah, because the weather is very cool. It's very cold, but the inside the house is very cool. It's very warm. It's much better in the winter than in Ningbo. And but I got other experience. For example, the area I choose is very quiet, because maybe I'm old. Yeah, so I feel here is better to live for me. It's very quiet. It's very clean, and the road is very wide. Yeah, and especially the weather. It's not so hot. It's not hot even in the summer. Yeah, it's not so hot, and it's dry, a little bit dry. So I prefer this dryness because I stayed in Southeast Asia for many years. It's too hot and too wet. It got very sticky here, but here is dry. Even though the temperature is the same, for example, 27 or 28, but it's drier. Moisture is only 60, yeah, or 50. So you feel better. You feel a little bit cool, yeah, something like this. So I prefer not to open the air conditioner. Yeah, I think it's natural. I just open the window at night, you know. So I got a small fan, yeah, like this, a small fan. Yeah, small fan. I think it's cool enough. It's nice to live here. And I got but one thing is, if you want to choose a place to stay in China, I think now it's much easier for me because I've been stay 1 year in the north of China again, and I travel many cities nearby because every 2 weeks I have to warm my car. So I travel near Tianjin about 100 or 200 kilometers around here. I will travel many here near Beijing, Tangshan, yeah, sites in Langfang, many cities I drive myself. Yeah. I spend 1 or 2 nights outside and I come back to my apartment here. I think it's easy. One discovery. If you want to choose to stay in China for Westerner or for not Western country, even in Indonesia or Thailand. If you like coffee, if you like French, European bread, so your choice is, in fact, is very limited. Yeah, because in China is except a very big city like Beijing, yeah, or Shanghai, it's easy to find a Western food and a Western bread. Yeah, coffee is easy. I think the most of even the big city, yeah, it's difficult to find the bread, because or coffee, yeah, early in the center of the city maybe have one shop, or big mall. They have a super big mall. They have a bread shop who offers the French or the European bread, which I like. Yeah, in Bangkok or in Jakarta, I like to eat these breads. But here it's difficult to find. So if you want to stay in China, you just pick Beijing, Shanghai, yeah, Shenzhen, yeah, maybe, yeah, Shenzhen. They got some in the east coast of the China. They got this kind of service. But if you choose, for example, Tianjin, you have to choose the downtown, because there you can only find a one or two shop. It has bread, whole wheat bread, yeah, and coffee. Yeah, for the other cities, difficult, because I asked them, where is it? Where you don't? Why I couldn't find it? Oh, this is the local people. They don't like. They don't like this kind of bread. They prefer the bread, the Japanese one. Yeah, the soft, creamy, sweet. They prefer this kind of bread. So that's the reason. Yes, they cannot sell. So they cannot make a profit. So you cannot choose. That's one thing to make you easy if you want to choose a city to live. Yeah, in China, the biggest food, I think is possible. Yeah, if you care the food. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.